Hiya, folks. So happy New Year and welcome back to our first session for the year 2026. So I hope you have a Christmas Happy New Year.
Yeah, same for me, folks. Welcome back, everyone. Hope everybody enjoyed the break if you had some time off and are looking forward to what's new to come in 2026.
Yeah. So we have two amazing speakers. It's going to be AI and Copilot. So let's just quickly do some intro before we get started. You can see that. Let me just make it big. Yep. So meet the team. I'm Nicholas Chang. I'm an MVP and I'm working for Senior Platform Engineer at Canis.
And I'm Kevin Green. I'm also an MVP and I'm the Azure Practice Lead at Ergo.
So all members of this group should abide by this code of conduct, be friendly and welcome to everyone, be patient, be thoughtful, be respectful and inclusive to everyone, be open and curious, and always try to ask questions. Ask questions to understand something and not just criticize one another. And you can do this one.
Yeah, so we've got two more amazing speakers lined up for folks this evening. So up first, we have Minseok Song, who's a Microsoft AI MVP and founder of Localizeflow. And he's going to be doing a session called Automating Repository Localization with Co-op Translator using GitHub Actions. So sounds like an interesting session already. And then we have Seena Khan, who's a Microsoft certified trainer, technical blogger and speaker, and she's going to be doing a session on or titled Building Responsible AI Agents with Copilot Studio, Latest Governance, Human in the Loop, and Workflow Enhancements. So yeah, really looking forward to this. And then the next event you have scheduled, Nick, for the 9th of February, and this is AVM and Agentic DevOps by Santosh Kumar and Ajay Bajada at Arinco, a managing consultant as well. Sorry. So yeah. I've set up. So that's two separate sessions. So AVM and Agentic DevOps. Coming up in our next session on the 9th of Feb.
So keep an eye out. So just bring our first speaker.
Perfect.
Hi, Minseok.
Oh, okay.
So before we start, do you want to just a brief intro of what your session's about, and before we dive in?
Yes. Today I want to talk about how localization actually runs in a real GitHub repositories in practice. It is not a talk about the translation quality or not a comparison of language models. Instead, it will be a talk about what happens when localization becomes an ongoing operational process in a real repository.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the stage is yours?
Yeah, stage is yours.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. My name is Minseok Song, Microsoft AI MVP and maintainer of Co-op Translator. As I said just before, I want to talk about how localization actually runs in real GitHub repositories using Co-op Translator. So I thought it would be better before we go any further. Let me show you how this works in a real repository in reality. So I'll share my screen, and here's my GitHub repository. I'm gonna make a very small change, just a single line. This is nothing special, and this is exactly the kind of edit. So I commit the changes. That happens every day in documentation. So now let's switch to the Actions tab. You can see here. Yes, as you can see, as soon as the commit is pushed, the GitHub Actions is triggered automatically. I'm not gonna walk through every workflow steps here, but the important point is this is just a standard GitHub Actions workflow. So I prepared for this presentation the same pull request generated by that workflow. This is what the output always looks like. It is a Korean translated version, automatically generated by Copilot Translator. It is triggered changes I just committed. So if you manage documentation that's edited frequently, you've probably seen translations fall behind. Oh, that's good news. The new translation is updated now. Yes, it seems like the workflows, yes, success goes, yes. Yes, as you can see, whenever the source content changes, the Copilot Translator is automatically triggered by GitHub Actions. So you can get a translated, you can get a pull request in a 1 minute 13 seconds, but generally it will be it will tend to be takes more time to translate, because I just added a very small change in a just readme file. So now I'm gonna let me briefly share a simple GitHub setup guide to use Copilot Translator. I thought in case some of you might want to try to this, first go to repository settings and opens actions. We can find the actions here, actions and general. And it's very simple. Enable this option. Allow GitHub Actions to create and upload pull request. And second, open secret and variables and actions. And in this page, Azure API keys here. For this demo, I prepared Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Vision keys. But if you only have, if you only need Markdown translation and don't have any Azure setup, you can also use an OpenAI key and endpoint. And third, create the Copilot Translator YML file. This is the example workflow. So it could be a very long line of file, but if you want to follow the same step-by-step guide for this exact workflow, I shared the repository link on the final setup, final slide, so you can simply follow the link. This is the Copilot Translator guide. I attached the link in the final page. So let's pause for a moment and look at what just happened. This isn't a magic. A developer pushes the commit and GitHub Actions react to that event, and the content is translated by Copilot Translator, and the result always comes back in as a pull request. That's the entire loop. And this is where the Copilot Translator project began as an open source project. As we all know, especially in the era of AI, documentation never stops changing, but translations almost always fall behind. Let me share a simple example. For me, I'm a Korean developer. Before Microsoft open source repositories used Copilot Translator. When I tried to learn AI concepts from generative AI for beginners, which is a kind of edge AI, which is a kind of advanced AI technology. The Korean version was often 6 or 8 months out of date, and this is not unusual. Many valuable technical repositories either don't support translations at all, or translations are updated only occasionally. Manual localization doesn't scale with content changes all the time. And interestingly, the translation quality is no longer the main problem. The real challenge is keeping translations up to date as source keeps changing. For global users, outdated translations are often more frustrating than imperfect ones. So that's the reason I started building Copilot Translator, and this is where scope matters. Copilot Translator is intentionally focused. It translates markdown and images, including text embedded inside images. Maybe it would be better to show translated images. I have a demo. Yeah, so if we merge the PR, the translated content will be merged into the main branch so that we can find the translated versions here. So this is the Korean translations, and this is the translated images. So as you can see, we can see the translated image. It is triggered by Azure AI Vision and Azure OpenAI, and this is the original version of that image. So let's yes. So it preserves structure, links, formatting, and code blocks also, and it integrates directly with GitHub native workflows. So, oh sorry. Some people might ask, sorry, isn't this the same as asking AI tools like Copilot to generate translations? My answer is it's partially yes, because if you're working with a small documentation set, that approach can work. But as documentation grows, things get more complicated. You need a proper chunking strategy. You need to separate code blocks from Markdown and handle them independently. From experience, there are many edge cases, especially when documentation contains a large number of code blocks. So there's also another problem. These tools don't know which translations are outdated. So whenever the content changes, you have to manually figure out what needs to be updated. Copilot Translator is built for people who face those problems. Copilot Translator is actively used by Microsoft open source repositories. These are large repositories with many languages and very frequent update, which means the system has to work not once but continuously. Yes, and this session, to be honest, this is the part I wanted to share. This workflow has been running on Microsoft open source documentation and large repositories. I experienced a lot of fails because at scale, because they usually, but in general, they usually expect problems on the left, like translation quality and large model language model accuracy and content correctness. But that's what we assume will break first. But in practice, that's not what breaks. What actually breaks are the things on the right. It is the job size limit and CI execution constraints and delivery timeout. Because I realize GitHub Actions. I think GitHub Actions is it's totally free for using a high workload, using high volumes of workloads, but I realize it has 6 hours limitation. So whenever I try to translate with 45 languages at once, we usually hit the limit. So the job size limit is very very common in the repo, and yes, in the repo. So that's the reason I started to design the project of Localizeflow, which centralizes, which it is kind of Cop translator, but extension of Cop translator, but it uses Azure container jobs, which we can customize, that we can customize the time limits flexibly. Yes, but many people started many people consider to use Cop translator. That problem, we do need to consider the problem, because it occurs only at the big repos like Microsoft open source. So if your content already lives in GitHub, this pattern applies directly. Like educational repositories, tutorials, and community-driven open source project. You don't need to migrate your content or adapt your new platform. You just need to treat localization as part of repository workflow. Going forward, the same pattern is being extended to static documentation frameworks such as Hugo and DocuSource. So before we finish this session, I'm gonna show you the demo. Some might wanna. Okay. Yes, this is the Cop translator GitHub repository. You can just type Azure/Cop translator in a Microsoft Edge, and you can see the exact guide in the README. Yes, in the docs title, you can visit this GitHub Actions guide for public repositories and standard secret. Yes, this page provide exact step-by-step guide for this presentation. So if you're interested in using localization feature for your GitHub repos, I recommend using Cop translator by following the setup guide. So all you have to do is prepare a proper keys like Azure AI Service API key, endpoint, or the keys. Yes, and we prepare the workflow YAML file here, so you don't need to make any code. Just copy and paste it. Yes, that's it. So if you want to try this yourself, this is how to get started using Coop Translator. Configure it once. After that, GitHub becomes the only interface that you need to maintain your content maintain your multilingual content. That's how Coop Translator runs today. And thank you. I think it will be good take a few questions here.
Yeah, so there's I don't see any questions come in. I've just been looking at somebody the various platforms. Nick, do you see it?
No, there's no more question. But the questions for me is that, is there any other feature improvement that other learners or anyone that's a maintainer will need to look out for from Localizeflow?
Yes. Thank you. That's a very good question, Nicholas. For future development, I'm building a Localizeflow. These days, as I said before, Coop Translator has a limitation for 6-hour limits of GitHub actions, but to solve this problem, I'm building an extension of Coop Translator called Localizeflow. At this service, we handle this by chunking push logic, or that means when you have to push a lot of files at one commit, we split the files by 100 files, so we can prevent the large commit in once, so that we can push GitHub very stably. I noticed whenever when the large workload pushes large documentation pushes as a one commit, GitHub tends to be unstable. So yeah. I faced a lot of times. So the push chunking logic is I'm developing in Localizeflow, and yes, and in the aspect of Coop Translator, I'm trying to generalize the translation feature for all frameworks like Astro, DocuSource, because Coop Translator is currently focusing on a Microsoft-based open source project like AI for Beginners, as you may know, or Phi Cookbook. But I think it would be better to provide this localization automation feature for the people who are managing a technical blog, or who are making a software that spreads globally. And I think it would be great to improve that Coop Translator features to that people, those people. So that's it.
Yeah, because it would be very good if people can implement it on their blog as well. Like if personal blogging, if there's someone's a blogger, they can just translate some document from English to Chinese or Korean and stuff. So you have my variety of audience. Any question from you, Kevin, Seena? Or is it?
No, no questions from my side.
No. There is one that's just come in actually from Joshua. Is it multi-agent? Is it multi-agent? If yes, how many AI agents in total?
I remember you said you just you use OpenAI instead of the agent itself.
Yes, I think it is different from multi-agent. We use several AI services like Azure OpenAI and Azure AI Vision, but it is integrated as a one kind of system, not a multi-agent. If Code Translator were a multi-agent, it would be a review agent and translator agent, and they could be co-work. But it is not a it is not Code Translator. It is just a translator tools that it focuses on automation. I think it is not a currently it is not an agent tool, but in the future it will be fun to improve this with multi-agent.
Amazing.
Okay, hopefully that answers Joshua's question. I don't see any other questions coming in, so I think that's a wrap.
Okay. So people can watch the recording and they just message you if they've got any question in the web, because you can you can just go to the repo because it's quite easy to just follow the step-by-step guide as mentioned.
Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you so much for that session. I learned a bit from it while I was watching you, so thank you so much.
Yeah, I guess one of your goal is to expand it to open source community as well, not just Microsoft, so more community can just contribute to it as well, whether it's new language or as well, to expand it. So that will be the future goal I will see going for it.
Yeah, thanks for suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah, so our next speaker is Seena. So let me just put Minseok in backstage.
Thank you.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure.
I can see it. Cool.
Okay. Is my slide visible?
Yeah, if you just there you go. We can see it now. Perfect. Over to you,
Okay.
Seena.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to today's session on building responsible AI agents with Copilot Studio. Before jumping into the session, I'm just giving a small introduction about myself. My name is Seena Khan. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer and Microsoft value professional, that is MVP for Power Platform and Copilot Studio. Currently working as a senior technical trainer at Solava Mia, focusing on Power Platform and Copilot. So today we are going to discuss about how to build responsible AI agents with Copilot Studio. So this is a bit more theory-based session. So in between, I can show some examples. So in this session, we are going to explore how AI agents have evolved from some simple copilots to sophisticated workflow-driven collaborators, and why governance, ethical design, and human oversight must evolve alongside them. So by the end of the session, you will understand not only what responsible AI means, but also how Copilot Studio provides the governance controls, modular architecture, and oversight mechanisms needed to build AI agents which are secure, compliant, and trustworthy. So this topic matters because enterprises are embracing automation faster than ever. And without the right guardrails, AI can introduce a risk instead of removing them. So today we'll look at how to harness AI safely, responsibly, and effectively. So introduction and the context. So this slide sets the context of what we are discussing today. AI is no longer an optional add-on. It is becoming the central to enterprise operations. So with Copilot Studio, organizations can now build agents that automate tasks, orchestrate workflows, and support decision making. So, but this capability also requires intentional design as well. So AI must be aligned to policies, to human roles, and to your organizational structure. So that's why we'll look at responsibility not as a constraint, but as the foundation for scalable automation. Now, building a responsible AI. So here we have mainly 4 categories. So evolution of AI agents, then governance and compliance, human in the loop oversight, and workflow automation and scalability. So these are the 4 categories we are going to look into. So let's dive into the first one. So this one, evolution of AI agents. We now have agents capable of deep reasoning, context awareness, and workflow automation. For the governance and compliance, we need frameworks to ensure transparency, ethical use, and alignment with the standards. Human in the loop, which is critical decisions still require human approval and oversight. And workflow automation, which is like Copilot Studio enables scalable modular agent architectures that can adapt and grow. Okay, so let's go a bit deep into each, understanding AI agents and responsibility. So this is actually a foundational understanding. So before we build responsibly, we must understand what agents actually are and what responsibilities come with deploying them. So AI agents in 2026 have the capability to reason, plan, take actions, and integrate with enterprise systems. So this power increases the necessity of responsible design. We must ensure that agents behave predictably, safely, and within defined boundaries. So for that, what we have to do, so for creating from instructions to the output, okay, what are the components we need to configure for the agents to behave predictably? Now, what are AI agents in 2026? So today's agents leverage sophisticated models like GPT-5, enabling them to work across complex enterprise tasks. So they can execute multi-step workflows, they can interact with external systems, and they can retrieve data, and they can make suggestions as well. Also, they can initiate actions proactively. So, however, this also introduces the need for governance and oversight. So, without proper boundaries, an agent could act too autonomously or perform tasks beyond its intended scope. So, a practical takeaway here is that an AI agent must be implemented with clarity of purpose,
Sorry,
appropriate
are,
permissions.
Seena, are you showing it on the screen? Because all I can see is the main screen. Seena,
Yes.
are you showing it on the screen? Because I only can see the main, the title. Or is it just one screen?
Oh, title screen only? No, I am sharing the screen. Okay.
Because I only can see the main PowerPoint building responsible AI, so I'm not sure whether you have another screen.
Okay.
Just let you know.
No, I am actually in the 5th slide actually. Okay, 1 second.
But I don't think you're sharing it. You're not sharing the window.
Yeah, I will. Okay.
I think it's better to share the whole window, not the.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Seena. Yeah, I can see it. I don't know what's happened, Nick, there. I think we have some gremlins in the system today. You were showing your slides just there. Do you want to just share again?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Yeah. Before you just showing the whole window, not the whole.
Yeah, I'm
screen.
sharing with this. I'm sharing the screen only, and then I have selected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Do you
it.
want to just move it back one and just see is the slides moving for you now, Lena or Sheena?
So now which slide is showing? What are AI agents in 2026 is
Correct.
showing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to just move it back now, just so we can see if your slideshow is working?
Yeah. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yeah. Do you want to test that it moves before? If you go back.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Okay, that's working. That's
Okay.
good. That's good.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for that. So now our next topic, why responsible AI matters. So responsible AI is essential for four major reasons. One is risk mitigation and trust. So agents interact with sensitive data. Without controls, they may cause breaches or policy violations. So you should have to take care of that. Okay, how the agents has to deal with the sensitivity of the data. Then governance and compliance. Governance frameworks ensure AI operates within policies, maintaining compliance and ethical standards. So organizations must ensure AI aligns with regulations and internal standards. Then explainability and transparency. Explainability allows stakeholders to understand AI decision making, enhancing transparency and accountability. So stakeholders should be able to understand why an agent produced a particular output. So based on the instructions what we are giving and how the topics we have configured, so based on that, the output should have to produce by the agents. So the stakeholders should be able to understand the reason behind it. Now, human oversight, that is human in the loop, which mechanisms ensure critical AI actions are validated by humans to prevent unintended outcomes. So even the best AI cannot replace human judgment in sensitive scenarios. So responsible AI is not a blocker, it's an accelerator. When trust increases, adoption increases, and automation scales safely. Governance and Copilot Studio. So governance is the backbone of responsible AI. Before any agent is built, organizations should define environments, maker roles, data access policies, compliance requirements, etc. So this ensures that AI development doesn't happen in isolation, but within a structured, secure framework. So Copilot Studio embeds governance features directly into its environment, making responsible deployment manageable and consistent. So COE also you can use with Power Platform. So there is an add-on for Copilot Studio as well. So you can use that also for the governance purposes. So they're like, okay, so some services or some agents, so in your environment, if your environment wants to like, you want to make your environment more clean, and unwanted agents or some like, the agents which are not in use need to remove from the environment. So you can do by using the COE toolkit as well. Governance foundations. So let's go a bit deeper into governance foundations. First is environment strategy. It will segregating the development, testing, and production environments, so which ensures controlled AI agents rollouts and minimizes the risk. So here, always use a developer environment, then a testing environment, then the production environments to separate the experimentations from production. So here, developers will develop the applications or the AI agents and then push into the testing environment, so there they can test it and before moving it into the production. So that's a good strategy for creating the environments. The second one is role-based access control. So that is RBAC restricts agent creation and modifications to authorized users, enhancing security and accountability. So only authorized users or authorized makers can create or modify agents. So there you can control the user accessibility to access the agents on what level. Okay. Next is data loss prevention. So DLP policies, which protect sensitive data by preventing its flow between incompatible systems within AI agents. So it prevents sensitive data from moving across boundaries. So here, okay, what kind of data need to access by the agents? Okay, what kind of agents should access? Okay, so this is okay, you can set some policies accordingly. Then compliance compliance integration. So integration with compliance tools provides like audit logging, retention policies, and e-discovery for regulatory alignment. So here it will give like, okay, a Purview gives audit logs, retention, e-discovery, and more. So here you can do like a retention policies a particular period. Okay, you don't need to you are not going to use that particular agents or a group of agents anymore. So then retention policies you can apply for that. Okay, so thereby your environment will be more clean, and it will be the highly optimistic environment. So by implementing these strategies, these structures early, so organizations reduce the risk and ensure a very smooth scaling of AI across the departments. Governance tools in Copilot Studio. So beyond the foundations, Copilot Studio offers advanced governance capabilities. So model selection governance. So here administrators controlled access ensures only appropriate models are used for specific workflows. So a model usage by restricting access to advanced models for sensitive workflows. So this thereby okay, administrators can control what kind of models can use by you makers or developers. Then auditability features, detailed logs for agent interactions, which supports compliance reviews and troubleshooting efforts. So every agent interaction is captured, and which will support transparency and compliance as well. Now deployment governance. Approval workflows ensure only tested agents which are published respecting environment boundaries. So here publishing requires an approval. So in your organization, so you are ensuring, so before publishing any agents, so then that particular agent should be tested properly. So that is okay, so then only it will get an approval. So that will again, okay, it will govern the performance or optimistic. Okay, so thereby you can improve your environment governance there. So publishing requires approvals and respects environment architecture. Then analytics dashboard. Dashboards tracks the performance, escalation rates, and user satisfaction for continuous improvement. So this combination of governance layers ensures AI agents remain safe, predictable, and policy aligned. Any questions?
No, there's no questions coming in at the moment. Seena.
Yeah. Okay. So next is human oversight and workflow design. So this section, which is transitions us from governance controls to human involvement. So even with governance, humans must remain part of the decision loop. So we will explore two key areas. One is like human in the loop oversight, and the other one is modular workflow automation. So these are the pillars of safe and scalable AI deployment. Human in the loop design patterns. Okay, this is like human control in automation. This pattern ensures humans retain control over critical decisions within the automated workflows. So there you can provide feedback for continuous improvement. So human feedback refines agent behavior over time, promoting learning and better automation outcomes. Best practices, so clear intervention points and context-rich summaries during handoffs. So here you can use like for a feedback purposes in between. So there is an approval workflow. So in between there is a feedback the agent need to take from the human. So that is, so there you can use adaptive cards and teams or like small forms also, like, okay, so you can use that in your agents and send it to the who is the responsible person. And once the approval comes from that person, so the agent will do the next actions accordingly. So that is for human in the loops. So some examples like a procurement agent drafts an order but pauses until a manager approves. Okay, so this is one of the example. And another like an HR agent prepares an onboarding request but requires some HR validations. Okay, so best practices include defining clear points where humans intervene, and providing useful context during the handoff, and capturing feedback to continuously improve agent performance. So this ensures automation supports but never replaces human judgment. Now is workflow automation and modular agents. So agentic workflow automation, then modular agent design, scalability and collaboration, secure and adaptive automation. So agentic workflow automation, agentic AI enables streamlined multi-step workflows like API interactions and integration with platforms like Dataverse, SharePoint, etc. Modular agent design, modular agents are usable components, allowing easy updates and reducing risk and maintenance of complex systems. So modular agents are like, okay, easy to maintain, easier to update, and less error prone, and it's more scalable. So instead of building one giant agent, you design reusable flows such as like policy checks, vendor lookups, and summary generation that can be combined in different workflows. Uh, so there are like different types of modular agents. We can say it as like child agents and connected agents. So child agents, like, okay, it will create inside your main Copilot Studio agent. So best for the focused task like handling FAQs or like processing forms. Okay, so for that we can use child agents. Then for the connected agents, the next type of modular agent is connected agent. Connected agent is like independent copilots linked to your main agent. So this is normally useful for some specialized domains like IT, HR, or finance, etc. IT support. Okay. So multi-agent orchestration, you can assign how it will work. For multi-agent orchestration, you can assign topics, knowledge bases, and tools to different agents, then orchestrate them to collaborate. Agent flows and generative orchestration, new features let agents act like digital coworkers, streamlining workflows and adapting in real time. Scalability will comes like instead of one large agent, you build modular reusable components that can be maintained and upgraded independently. So handling that kind of agents also will become more easier. Okay, so if you are creating a big agent and it has a very long descriptive instructions and a very lengthy topic, and there is like, so instead of creating that, so when you are going to upgrade that particular agent, so you should have to go with like, okay, again one by one. So if you are like part by part, or components are as agents you are making, okay, so then handling it also to upgrade is much become very easy. So key considerations when you are going for this approach. So design carefully. Poor orchestration can confuse users if handoffs are not smooth. Governance, like each agent must follow compliance and data policies. Then limitations there, some like, okay, some features like deep integrations may require some advanced configurations. So in short, modular agents in Copilot Studio are about building AI systems like, Lego blocks. Each block has a clear role, and together they form a powerful, adaptable Copilot ecosystem. So this design ensures flexibility, adaptability, and long-term sustainability. Now the best practices and the conclusion. We now bring everything together. Responsible AI requires governance, ethical design, human oversight, and modular workflows. So these elements work together to create agents that are safe, scalable, and aligned with business values. So best practices for the enterprise deployment. Some practical steps for deploying responsible agents. So governance, like I said, governance early. So you can define environments, roles, and compliance policies before starting any AI agent. And then design a modular architecture. So build the reusable workflows, or build you reusable flows to support scalability and efficiency. And this also can maintain very easily. Embed human in the loop. So use approval steps and checkpoints for sensitive tasks. Then monitor and iterate. So use analytics to refine and improve agent behavior continuously. So these steps ensure AI becomes a very sustainable part of enterprise operations. So always remember, like, okay, so when you, this is a normal practice we are using in Power Platform as well. Okay, when we are building an application, okay, we are keep it in a solution. So same agents as well, okay, we should have to keep it in a solution, and thereby, okay, we can configure environment variables for the path and some other like, okay, kind of constraints we are using inside the flows or the agents. Okay, we can keep it in the environment variables. So thereby the movement of from one environment to another environment, the movement become very easy. Now here are the closing thoughts for this. So responsible AI is not restrictive, it is empowering. When responsibility is built in from the start, AI adoption accelerates because trust increases. So Copilot Studio gives you the tools to build secure, compliant, and effective agents. As you explore further, remember AI should augment human capability, not replace it. Okay, so thank you for joining this session. I'm looking forward for any questions or your need any kind of informations related to this. Please let me know.
Thank you very much, Seena. So again, I'm looking across the various platforms. No new questions have come in, so I guess you explained it all perfectly brilliant, and nobody has any questions that they need. But similar to what Nick was talking about earlier, if folks are going to rewatch this on the recording on YouTube or whatever, and you've got any questions, I'm sure, Seena, it's okay if they reach out to you on social media just to try and get the answer. Or, of course, they can reach out to myself or Nick, and we'll make sure we get the question to you as well. Perfect. Okay, so I guess that wraps it up. I have to say thank you again, folks. Two really good presentations. Really appreciate your time. I know it's probably very late or very early for both of you where you're located. So don't want to keep you too much longer at this point.
Yeah, in Korea it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
like 5 a.m. Wow.
But I really enjoyed this session. Thanks for hosting.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Yeah, really appreciate it. Okay, well, look, folks, hopefully we'll have you on again if you're interested, and really appreciate your time. And as I said, if there's any questions that come in to ourselves, we'll route those questions over to you as well.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.